We are all told several things in school that more often than not tend to be lies. We learn many things from school, however not all are true. Seeing that the school year is almost ending, what better time to do this top 5? With that out of the way, I present to you the top 5 lies told to you in school. Let's begin. Number 5. Texting friends is a waste of time. No, wrong. Actually, texting surprisingly improves your language skills. The earlier you start, the better it works. As far as research is concerned, it has been proven that the better your texting skills are, the better your reading and writing skills are. The reason? That people our age are texting. We are not writing poetry, short stories, or even bother to read. Today we text instead of not doing anything at all. Now let's be honest. How many of you would willingly write things out if email and texting were not a thing? The answer would probably be -3% of you. I'm not sure how that's possible, but let's roll with it. Number 4. Van Gogh cut off his own ear. We all know Van Gogh, world famous artist who cut off his own ear. Except that never actually happened. Shocking, I know. According to experts, fellow artist Paul Gauguin cut off Van Gogh's ear in a pretty devastating fight. He then lied about the incident to avoid prosecution. The rumor eventually spread that led Van Gogh to create a painting about the incident. So if you look at it the way I do, Van Gogh took credit for someone else's work. Number 2. Abraham Lincoln was anti-slavery. Surprised? So was I. We all took it as a fact. Old Abe here was constantly praised for being the greatest opponent of slavery. This was brought upon by his Emancipation Proclamation in 1862. According to this proclamation, it rid the United States of primarily Southern slavery. In reality, it seemed he had mixed views on slavery throughout his presidency. Lincoln was not an avid supporter of abolition. Instead, he did anything and everything that would lead the North to being stronger, even if that meant supporting the end of slavery. The Emancipation Proclamation didn't even touch on racial equality or basic human rights. Here is what he had to say. If I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it. And if I could save it by freeing all the slaves, I would do it. And if I could save it by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that. What I do about slavery and the colored race, I do because I believe it helps the Union. And what I forbear, and I forbear because I do not believe it, would help to save the Union. Number 2. The real Thanksgiving. Since you were old enough to go to school, you most likely have been taught something about Thanksgiving. You probably learned something about the Pilgrims arriving at Plymouth Rock in 1620, unprepared for the harsh winter ahead. The fairy tale goes further by saying the natives taught the unprepared pilgrims to grow food and generously offered them crops so that they could survive. According to this tale, the pilgrims and natives sat down and enjoyed a feast like no other. However, that's not the case. You were most likely lied to since your childhood. The truth behind this is much more genocidal. The arrival of the pilgrims brought on plagues that slaughtered the population of the natives, and it didn't help that the pilgrims too were on a killing spree. Pilgrims would steal food and supplies from the surviving natives because they were too weak to fight. Sorry to break your heart, but there probably was no Thanksgiving. Number 1. The United States had 12 original colonies. Without a doubt, every American child was taught that the United States had 13 original colonies. This one is actually pretty easy to believe. I mean, the nation's first flag, sewn by Betsy Ross, has 13 stripes representing the 13 original colonies. However, there was only 12. This has been proven to be accurate because Delaware was never a separate colony. After the Redcoats invaded that region and stole it from the Dutch in the 1660s, the territory was split between Maryland and Pennsylvania. It then fell in possession of Pennsylvania and remained that way until the American Revolution. Up until then, it wasn't even called Delaware. It simply had the title the 3 lower countries. Well, now I know that Mr. Martinez better give me that point for that test. I knew that answer was 12. That's it for this countdown. Maybe you can get mad at your teacher some more for now seeing as you have been lied to. I'm only kidding, of course. We love our teachers, even though you may have lied to us. Anyway, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, don't trust your history books.